Y'all, what's up? It's your girl Krista B from Those Wrestling Girls, and you know I have to tell you about my dope ass rock shirt that I finally got in the mail thanks to Ripple Junction. Ripple Junction is the best place to get all your authentic tees, whether it's WWE, whether it's The Office, whether it's any show that you love and mark over. You go over there, you order your shirt, you put it on, and boom. Also, you have to use the code Those Wrestling Girls to get 15% off your purchase. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to ripplejunction.com, order your shirt, type in the code Those Wrestling Girls, and you're also gonna tell them that we sent you. And on that note, it's your girl Krista B, and I am out. We're back. It's Those Wrestling Girls. It's your girl Krista B
and Queen P.R.
And today we have one of my favorite series that I love to do, which is a real talk episode. But this is going to be part 2 to women of color in WWE. We feel like it's very imperative for us to come back to this topic because 1 is Black History Month. 2, the women in general are literally doing their thing, but we have to really give the women of color their flowers while they're still here. 3, it's literally been a year since I met Bianca Belair and Naomi, and I spoke to them. So we have to get into all of that.
Wow.
We get into that. P, I haven't seen you in so long. How are you doing?
I know.
How are you? How you been?
I'm good. I'm good. It's like, we're super busy. Like like the days are just like running together. So when we saw the date and we saw like, okay, what are we going to record about? I felt like it was good for us to revisit this.
Yeah, definitely good to revisit.
For sure.
Definitely super busy. Like we definitely had to take a break.
Yes.
We were going to run ourselves crazy if we did not take that break.
I know. And it's always needed. It's always needed every once in a while. And then that was like God in the universe and you just knowing like, you know what, it's time. Because then we were able to drop our Bianca Belair interview from last summer that we did with her and just in time for Black History Month. So, and she just won the Royal Rumble. So it literally was like the perfect timing for all of us. Like for everything to just come together.
It was definitely needed, the break, because we as women put ourselves in this box. Bianca said it so well, so eloquently on that panel yesterday. Like we put ourselves in this box and it's like we always have to go. And because we're in such a box, we really don't take time to step outside that box and to take time for ourselves and to check on our mental health and to check on each other. So we were really struggling to figure out when we was going to record next, when we was going.
Right.
I was just like, you know what? God was telling me, just step back. Like, the break is going to be okay. And y'all know, this is me and Peace, baby. Like we go hard for those Wrestling Girls. We go hard for y'all because we don't want to disappoint you guys. But I had to tell them, like, listen, we're human. We gonna they're gonna support us.
You'll understand.
Yeah, you'll definitely understand. So now we're back talking about the women of color, WWE part 2.
Yes.
And can you take it away?
I wanted, so much has happened since we last recorded this episode. And so we released it in February, but we had recorded it a couple months prior. So a lot happened. So Naomi won the Royal Rumble and won the Royal Rumble. She went viral at 2020. Yes, twice actually. She went viral in 2020 and she went viral in 2021 for both returns, big returns, which is crazy how both years in the same time frame, we're literally thirsting to feel the glow. We're literally like, okay, where's Naomi? And then you're just like, okay, well, Royal Rumbles are coming up, hopefully we see her. But the reaction is always the same. Like
always.
And the same.
I feel like my reaction, I don't know, like my reaction last year, it was just because of how she came out. Like because you didn't see her.
the difference between last year and this year, last year you didn't really see her on social media when she disappeared.
Yeah,
like, you really didn't hear from her. You nothing. Like, she just went on a break. She just had to take that time for herself. So when her music hit, like, I literally screamed myself a headache. And y'all already know I can scream for days. You already know. You already know. So for us to see that and to feel that, and then for her to come out wearing her natural hair, like that afro was everything. Like,
everything.
It was something that you would have not expected because we know how WWE is, and for them to allow her to be true to herself. And when she came back, it was the most beautiful thing to ever see.
It really was.
That representation mattered, because we off camera we were just talking about my natural hair journey and how this time last year, like, it was like this. Like, I feel like it was like this. Now it's just like, once I take it out, it's just like, so for me to see that in her made me comfortable wearing my natural hair, and made people comfortable wearing braids and dreads and any type of natural state they want to be in, because we saw her come out and live in her truth in the moment. And then for this year, she came out, and we did see her on social media, we did see her wrestle and stuff. But for this year, when she came out number 2. Yeah, and she lasted like,
that was unexpected.
That was so unexpected.
I think that's what made this year good too. Because last year, and it was perfect because it was the day that Kobe died. So we needed that. We needed that Black girl magic. We needed to feel the glow that day. And when her music hit, the scream, I don't think I screamed so loud when she came out.
Four Down Legends. Last year.
Between that and Edge, I think the roof just completely just, oh my God, I miss Legends. Yeah,
we should definitely go Sunday, but that's
right. But this year, when she came in 2021, it was, I definitely didn't expect for her to be 21 because she usually does her spot. She does something crazy to save herself from elimination. And that doesn't happen in the beginning of Royal Rumble. So I never expected her to be number 2. So whoever booked that I was oh my God, I screamed. And I think she lasted a long time too.
She lasted 36 to 40 minutes. Yeah. I don't like the way how they eliminated her, for her to say, oh no, not like this again. But I'm glad this time when she was able to come back into the ring, she wasn't automatically eliminated. They gave her more of a stretch. They gave her more of a stretch. But girl, I was just so conflicted that Royal Rumble, because
I know
Bianca was fighting Naomi. I'm like, girl, what are you doing?
I was no, I'm gonna need some unity. I'm gonna need some unity until y'all get to the last 2.
Or whatever, and I'm just like, y'all are raising my blood pressure. I can't. Please stop.
I did enjoy having Naomi and Bianca interacting as much as they did. When they did the hair thing, when they both saved each other from elimination. That I was oh my God, this is amazing. I love, because this is the stuff that you when we all miss Naomi, we're thinking and we're dream matching and certain things happen, and then it happens and you're oh my God.
Right. It's just oh my gosh, I'm gonna spill a little bit of tea, little tidbit. So last year when I was working in the station at Hot 97, for those who don't know, and R-Truth was in one of my Hot 97 videos, Hot 97 Now videos. And he's how he pitched for him, the Street Profits, Bianca Belair, and Naomi to form a faction. And I was just
oh my God.
So if they were to really form a faction, because you don't really see, we had the Nation of Domination, but then you also included Owen Hart.
Yeah.
It wasn't all, you had Savio Vega. It wasn't all Black or people of color. And now we have the Hurt Business, but they're going around as bullies. There's no positive representation of a faction that are all people of color, that are all African American or whatever. But when he said that, I was no, that is dope. You have to repitch them. If you want, I'll write a letter to Vince. Put Vince on the phone. I was really going from like literally on some, you know what? Yeah, we need this. Like, we want to see this. This representation really, really matters. And it doesn't have to be in a negative light. Like, you see a group of Black people, and it doesn't have to be something negative. It can stand for something positive. Not saying Nation of Domination was not positive, but they were kind of tweeners.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it could be like a faction of like all Black people, and it doesn't have to necessarily be about that or pushing like a certain agenda type situation. Yeah, but that sounds really fun because Our Truth is fun. Everybody he named, it would be lit. Yes,
like, everybody brings their own personality.
Oh my God, yo, book that.
And Angelo Dawkins are like, they're fools.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
hilarious, good comedic. And then you have R Truth, who's just like
hilarious.
He's like the king of comedy in WWE.
Yeah, he's so funny.
You have Bianca, who can turn on her sass and turn it off real quick. And then you have Naomi. She's the silent one. Like, she won't speak, but when she needs to pop off, she's gonna pop off.
Yeah.
Yo, we need that.
Yes, book that. I didn't even know that. That's such a. I actually love that idea. Yeah. It makes you wonder, like, what other things get pitched that, you know, that don't make it. That would actually be really cool.
Like, Naomi told me when I was interviewing her for the article that I did last year, she told me that she actually, like, we saw her pitch the glow thing on Total Divas, but she was actually happy when Team Bad came about, and she, like, how she was that because it drew out the frustration that she was feeling. Yeah. It drew that out. She was happy to, even though people were like, oh no, this is a stigma, it's a stereotype, da da da. Like, even we were saying, like, this is a stereotype. Like, all Black people roll their necks, although I'm rolling my neck right now. Hands, they don't clap and click tongues and they don't do all of that. But she was happy with the fact that she was able to play that character or play that one part of herself because she was able to bring that to life because she was feeling the frustration at the time.
Yeah.
She was feeling, you know, being overlooked. Like, she was feeling the attitudes and stuff that was coming towards her. So she was just all right. That's what you want me to do. I'm gonna be this person. I'm gonna
lean all the way into it.
Yeah.
I love how, like, she makes it she like inspires other Black women, like young, old, to be unapologetically Black and not give a fuck. And that's why I love that when she came out in last year with her natural hair, and she, this is who I am, and inspire other little girls to like wear their natural hair, which is so cool. And then you have Bianca, who talks about all the time how she's multifaceted. Like, she's just not like, those stereotypes may be a part of my personality, but that's not all of who I am. Like, like, I'm gonna just be me. And then she makes it okay for like every Black girl to be me.
Yeah,
like,
she's very well educated. She has a book club. And did I tell you I found one of the books that she recommended us over the summer?
Yes.
I haven't started reading it yet because I'm in another book club. But I didn't start reading it yet, but I definitely will. She's very open to talk. Like, she's very in tune with like current events and finding ways to donate. Like, if you guys watched that interview with us and her, we were talking about the real issues. We was talking about we were talking about Breonna Taylor. We were talking about how Black people as a whole are stuck in this box and are automatically stereotyped because of the fact of the color of our skin. And like, we are all multifaceted. Like, she's always inspiring and pushing us to go forward. The conversations that we've had with her afterwards, like to this day, like they sit with us and we be like, yo, remember what she told us? And she inspires us every day. Even if she doesn't know it, like, I'm wearing her shirt.
She really makes you want to be the EST like every day of your life.
And I will always give her that. Like, she put that in me. And mind you, we're all the same age, okay?
Right.
When you have somebody, and this is when they say the people in your circle are supposed to motivate you and you're supposed to motivate them. And although she's not in our circle, she still a part of our circle within the wrestling world, because we can look at her, we can go to her, even if it's not on a personal level, like even on social media, she's very interactive.
Mm-hmm. She really is.
Open. Like she literally will give you advice, even if you didn't know you needed it, to what she posts. Like you may not talk to her one-on-one, but she can post something like, there you go. That's what I needed to hear. That's what I needed.
And then what her and Montez have been doing for Black History Month, they've been posting facts and like
people in the Black
community, and like people that that don't get talked about a lot, that I'm learning things from following them on social media. And so for those that don't know, we were able to interview Bianca Belair for Krista B Sound Off last summer, right in the midst of the Black Lives Matter movement, right during the George Floyd protests. And we were able to talk to her, and luckily, in hindsight, we didn't talk about wrestling, and I'm glad that we didn't. And it was really just like, and I've re-listened to it because we released it on our YouTube and everything. So now it's like available for everyone. So please check that out. I really felt like it was three like friends just hanging out, like just having a conversation about what it's really like living, working, existing in this world as a Black woman, and how to be authentic and still and still like, this means a lot to me, like inviting others to sit at the table too. Like, and I think that's like one of the most important things when it comes to like being a woman of color like Bianca, who, like you said, is educated, well-spoken, great role model, even for us. And like you said, we're the same age, being able to like have a platform and inspire them. Like, I'm so glad that young girls have Bianca to look up to. And I'm glad that she changed her, because she was a heel or like a bad guy in NXT and when she first came to WWE. And I'm glad that they changed that, because like we all want to root for Bianca. Like we all like, that's who we like, and that's who I think is a good, like she just talked about things like code switching and like having to correct people when people mispronounce your name, and just things that like, people of color go through that like isn't talked about. And we were able to talk to Bianca Belair about it. And it still like blows my mind.
And it makes you realize like they're just like us and we're just like them. Like, they're on TV, they have millions of fans all over the world, they travel. But at the end of the day, we still all have to deal with the same things, the same stigmas, the same stereotypes. Like, we were never really having a conversation about code switching. We were just, especially growing up, it was just something that was taught to do.
Right.
You understand? Like if you're in the presence of
somebody, get ahead.
Right. If you're in the presence of somebody with power, especially somebody who did not look like you, you change your tone. You understand? Like it's going from, hey girl, what's up? Da 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 on the phone to, hi, yes, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
So how may I help you? You understand?
Yeah.
I look at it now and I'm just like, if the shoe on the other foot, there would be no code switching.
No. Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. And if people understood what it takes to be like, and that's why I'm glad we spoke to Bianca, who's at now such a high level. Like when you get to WWE, like that's a $1 billion corporation. Like, and then hearing from her that she's able to be herself because she wants to allow other people that come behind her to be herself. Like that just means like, that's like powerful shit. And like, speaking of that, we were able to watch a panel yesterday. The Female Quotient, they do like these weekly panels with Stephanie McMahon. And I try to like watch them when I can, but they had one with Naomi, Bianca, and Kayla Braxton. And I was like, oh my God, I'm really gonna try to watch that. So luckily me and Krista were able to watch it. And it was like exactly what I needed, like at the perfect time.
Same.
Like just hearing
different stories, right?
Sorry. Yeah, that's literally exactly what I was about to say, because I learned things about Naomi, Bianca, and Kayla that I never knew. Right. And it each one like kind of inspired me in like a different way.
Right. Like Kayla, I feel like although we're all Black, we're African American, I feel like Kayla's story was, I don't want to say heartbreaking, but it hit the hardest because of the fact she came from she's biracial. She grew up with a white foster family, but trying to find your footing in a place to where, all right, the black kids don't want to be your friend because your hair doesn't look like theirs or your skin doesn't look like theirs. But then the white kids don't want to be your friend because your hair may look like this, but your skin don't look like theirs. Like there's shades of melanin more so than shades of no melanin. You understand? Like, so to find your footing. And then growing up in Alabama in the South.
Crazy.
Like, we can't forget, like, the civil rights movement is not that far removed.
It's really not.
This happened in the 60s. We're in 2021. Like, do the math.
We grew up in the 90s, so that's not that not long from that
at all. For her to have to endure that, and I'm pretty sure there are some parts of the South, it's like there's some parts up here of the North that are extremely racist. I mean, there are extremely racist parts all over this country. Let's not get into it. But learning about the history of what happened in the South, civil rights movements, bus boycott, with Rosa Parks, Dr. Martin Luther King, all of those historical figures who literally refused something to stand up for what they believed in. For us, and you still grow up in the South and you grow up not knowing. And I'm glad that she was able to find her footing. And I'm glad that she was able to be so lucky to tell her story. And she said something real funny to me, and I kind of resonated with it. She said everybody that she has met that was like in foster care or can relate to her story turned to some type of journalism to tell their own story.
I love that.
It's like, that's somewhat true. Like, I'm not gonna get into it, but I kind of went through a similar situation. I just happened to be lucky, just like Kayla. So, and look, I'm a whole journalist now. You see, like, it's just
like, oh my God.
So I definitely resonated with her when she said that, and for her story to inspire that 12-year-old girl at NXT, or it was just NXT.
I think so.
It was like, she remembers she was seeing her, and the girl made sure she found her and told her, she was like, your story helped me. I know that I'm going to be okay because I know that you're okay.
Oh my God, I love that.
Like, things like that, like, you really don't get to hear a lot of from women of color.
Yeah, and I could just imagine how many other little, like, not even just girls, but just people in general that can hear that or feel defeated because of those circumstances. And then you hear someone like Kayla Braxton, who, like Bianca Belair, is educated, well-spoken. Like, I listened to her on Lillian Garcia's podcast a couple years ago, and she has like awards. She was like a public speaker, I think. And so she used to like go places and like do speeches. I think she even did a speech at the White House or something, like, not the White House, the UN, I think. She like literally like had like, and I was like, oh my God, just hearing like how far, she's come is crazy. And then having to deal with like being the only, person of color in her family and her town. And like, that's a lot to overcome.
And deal with as a kid too.
Yeah, it really is. That's a lot. Did you hear when Bianca was saying how seeing Naomi in a match is like what, like, oh my God, like made her want to continue being a wrestler? Like, that made me just like, oh my God. And then what was
like, wow, and then they wrestling together.
Yeah. And crazy.
They're wrestling together. And then Naomi said the same about Foxy. And they was just it's funny how they were both like 6-woman tag matches.
Yes, right.
I'm so glad that we don't have 6-woman tag matches.
I know.
We can evolve from that. And I'm like, yes, I love the fact that Stephanie gets it.
Me too. She totally gets it. And she's an ally for sure. Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell when something is phony. You can tell when something is genuine. And with Stephanie, it's all genuine. Like, I don't hear any bad things about her behind the scenes.
I don't either.
She's one of the best heels in the world.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, on screen, I'm going to beat her. Like, I wish she would slap me like she slapped a rock.
Yo, I really wish she would. I will be getting for real arrested, like, not like a joke.
But behind the scenes, like I love how genuine she is and how full of love and how open minded that she is and how she sees the struggles every day. Like although she didn't grow up in those struggles, she sees it.
Yeah.
She sees it.
And she wants better for the next.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She's able to explain to her daughters, you know, these historical figures. Like she's posted some black historical figures, and I remember she said something about her daughter had asked her, I think about Dr. Martin Luther King or somebody, and Stephanie explained it. And her daughter was like, no, her daughter said, oh, I know who this is. And she just explained, she said, this is because of you, Mom. Like, you taught me this and this. Like, you to teach your kids that, to have that instilled in that hate is a learned behavior.
Yeah.
You not to hate. Like, I love that about Stephanie.
Yeah.
I really, really do.
I do too. I love how I think I'm going to talk about last year a lot because just so much happened last year. Yeah. But you were able to interview Naomi and Bianca and Mia Yim for articles, and then you were able to talk to Bianca Belair after she won the Royal Rumble, which was dope too. But what's cool is that the timing of a Bianca Belair and Naomi wearing her natural hair, it's the time for that. Like it felt like the right time for Naomi to start, like leaning more into that. Like I don't know, like it just felt like it was time. And then Bianca Belair with her Black History Month gear that I'm thinking of when she had the gold collar and the
she posted on her Instagram yesterday. Made that.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That was so powerful. Like I love shit like that.
In my mind, like we're so sometimes stuck or conditioned to certain things within WWE. When she out from that, I'm like,
it was a game changer, yo. I was like, what?
In my mind, I'm just like, Vince is probably going ape shit right now. Like, I think that people, rep their culture. You have Japanese, you have Indian, you have Hispanic, whatever. But and you like people rep the flags or wear some type of uniform. Like even though Yokozuna wasn't Japanese, he was Samoan, but he had Mr. Fuji with him. He had the Yeah. But then when Bianca came out and wore Black History in the Making and proud and boldly everywhere, I was just like, yo, sis is changing the game.
Yo, she really is.
She really whipped her hair and told me, this is what I'm going to wear, okay? I'm going to stand in this. This is my truth. This is me. This is how, I'm pretty sure she didn't say it that way, but in my mind, because I'm just so conditioned to how things used to be and how these women used to be portrayed. It's
like, I know. That was a moment. That was a fucking moment.
It really was.
And that I feel like should get more love. Like I feel like I'm gonna post it on our social media again. Just for like the love of it. Yeah.
I'll do it right now, guys.
Yes, do it, girl. Do it. So I love that Black women in WWE are definitely getting into the mainstream thanks to you. Definitely check out the links to Krista's articles in the comment in the description. But we can't not talk about Sasha Banks, who is at the time of recording this, she's SmackDown Women's Champion, and she was in The Mandalorian. Like that, and what I feel like is most satisfying to me about that is that she probably filmed that during her hiatus after WrestleMania, and all of her fucking haters and all the fucking dirt sheets was reporting how she had a temper tantrum and how she took her ball and went home, all this dumb shit, and she was recording or filming a Star Wars show for Disney Plus.
Who cares if Sasha had a temper tantrum? If she took her ball and ran home, if she tucked her tail between her legs, if she decided to flick her hair and say, fuck this shit, I'm out, who cares? Because at the end of the day, this woman was sitting here putting her body on the line for you trash bags.
Right.
Every night, no complaints. So because of the fact that she decided to take a break, take a step back, to get her mental health together, to get herself together, to do something else that she wanted to do, to put a division between Sasha and Mercedes. Y'all want to get mad? But y'all probably sent holes up in your rooms, living in your mama's basements, not paying a goddamn bill. Want to be rolling all over social media when she's actually out here with a career, probably sitting on 6 figures, if not more. And y'all sitting here making $7.25 an hour, if that. Y'all need to get your lives together.
Right. 100%. So shout out to Sasha. She waved. What did she do for NASCAR? I don't know anything about.
She waved the flag?
Yeah, for she's lit. Shout out to Sasha Banks. I want to shout out Aja Smith. So she was hired since we recorded our part 1 of our Women of Color episode, and she's a referee. So she is a wrestler. She was a wrestler on the Indies. A lot of people were really excited when they heard that she got signed, and she ended up being a referee, which is really good in my opinion, because there's so many wannabe wrestlers, right? It's very easy to get lost in the shuffle in WWE. They sign so much talent, and then you can not really hit. But as a referee, it's like a small pond, you could really shine there. She made history as the first Black female referee in WWE. And you don't have to put your body on the line really every night. You really have the excitement of being in matches, but you don't have I don't know. I think it's a good, I hear people that have turned into referees say that that's kind of good. They don't have to actually wrestle. So I'm excited that Aja Smith kind of stands in her own lane.
And she's the first female Black Black referee in WWE. Yeah. You said all that. You didn't even say that part, sis.
I did. I said it. That's how I introduced her.
No, you said she used to be a wrestler and people on the Indies. You didn't say she was the first Black female referee.
I did. I swear. I said she made history as the first female Black referee, which I think is.
I was too busy over here relishing in this Beyonce.
Oh yeah.
My bad.
Because she killed that.
It's all in our. Well, by the time this comes out, it won't be in our IG story anymore, but it's still on her page.
Yes, and check it out. Mia Yim got engaged.
And we also have to talk about Mia Yim. And
yes,
people ask, how come I chose Mia Yim over Sasha Banks when I did that story? Mm-hmm. And this is the reason why. Mia Yim is half Black, half Asian. Her dad is a full-on African-American man, and her mom is Asian. And just similar to Kayla's story, not fitting in with the Blacks. When she was younger, she didn't look like she looked now. When she was younger, she was probably about our complexion. Her hair was not as straight. It was more so curly. I don't want to say nappy because ain't no such thing as Black nappy. It was more so curly, of course, But then as she started to get older, and when you get older, your features change, your complexion changes. That started to happen to her. So she was trying to find her way to fit in as well. So I wanted to spotlight and shine a light on her story because she gets a lot of flack for her claiming to be Black because she looks Asian. Now, if you was to ever see a Black and Asian child, a mixed child, Asian features are very, very strong. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of Black Asian kids, men, women, children out there, and their features are very, very strong. But because they don't have a hint or a shade of Black, it's, you're claiming to be something that you're not. You don't know how many times she puts on her social media, y'all, this is my dad.
Yep. And the fact that she has to do that is gross.
Right. And she kept defending herself a lot. So I was just like, I need to talk to Mia Yim. Yeah. I would love to have Sasha Banks on here. I would love to talk to her and things of that nature. But I wanted to kind of take the story somewhere else because I already had Naomi, I already had Bianca, and I want to tell a story of someone who struggles and fight was a little different from the others.
Yeah, I love that.
That's why I have Mia Yim in that story, and I don't regret it, and I won't take it back because everybody needs their story told.
Yeah, I love that you chose Mia Yim as much as I love Sasha, and I love Mia Yim too. Yeah. I'm so glad that you chose her because just like Kayla Braxton, there's so many you know, and there's people that dispute that she's a woman of color, which is like so crazy to me. I'm thinking of that photo shoot that I think Bianca put together with like MJ Jenkins. Was Mia Yim in that? I don't know. I gotta find that photo too. Yeah.
Let me.
You should post that too.
I think I still have it. Dang, I'm a search.
Okay.
I still have it.
But yeah, so I'm so glad that we got a chance to kind of revisit, you know, just having a real talk about, you know, because we are women of color. This podcast is driven by Black Girl Magic, and we're inspired every day by women like Naomi and Bianca Belair and Kayla Braxton, and you know, everyone that's like kind of out there, you know, doing their thing. You know, we're always gonna like represent for that and do what we can to talk about this, especially just in time for Black History Month. For sure. So do you think since the last time we talked about this, and we've been talking a lot about this just because of the climate that we're in, we have to talk about the experiences of, you know, being Black in fucking America. But do you think as far as in WWE, do you think women of color how far do you think we've come? Do you think WWE is getting better at representation? You know, how has things changed?
WWE is definitely getting better at representation. But you know, there's never too much representation, right. At all. But they are getting much better, from Attitude Era to Ruthless Aggression to now, or whatever that little era, Divas Era. We're gonna call it the Divas Era because to now, I feel like they definitely are getting much better with the representation that they present and they put out there. So definitely,
I agree. And I forgot to mention Ember Moon. So she had took a hiatus. She had got injured, but then she returned to NXT since we last talked, which I think was a great idea. So she's standing out. She's doing her thing over there. She's in a tag team, I think, with Shotzi Black. And she's definitely killing it in NXT. Shout out to Ember Moon.
Love that. That too. Like I love the fact that she was able to come and not be put down. She like come back and not be put down. Although the trolls, of course, was hating on her as well. Always hating. And I love the fact she was able to come back and reinvent herself.
Yeah, she really did a great job of that. I'm really proud of her. And because I'm not as into NXT just because like it's just a lot of we're busy. So I don't see everything that Ember Moon does live. Like I watch like the highlights and stuff like that, but you can just see that she's just like Sasha. That break was well needed. She seems like revigorated. Like she's killing it. So.
And I feel like mental health is something that needs to be spoken about within the Black community, because
100%.
It's like we tense up and be like, there's nothing wrong with me. My mental health is fine. And then when we crack, it's like, oh shit, she's crazy.
Yo. And you don't even realize that how much you're not talking to, like how like your reaction is to be like, oh no, I'm fine, I got this. And you just and why we had to take a break a couple weeks ago, because you just pile things on, and then at one point you're like, wait, I can't, like I need to take a break. Like I need to literally separate myself from certain things. But I feel like Black women, especially, were raised or conditioned to feel like we have to take it all on. Like you have to be strong enough. You can't be weak. Like, you know, this is what you asked for kind of thing. So you just got to like put up with it. And no, that's not the case. Like, no, it's okay to take a break. So like seeing Ember Moon and seeing Sasha Banks especially really thrive after telling themselves it's okay, after putting 100, like Ember Moon and Sasha Banks particularly, like all wrestlers do put like everything into it, but like they are passionate about their profession, and when they're in the ring they give it all. So for them to want to take a break should be perfectly okay.
Like, let it be. Who cares? You understand? Like, who cares if they take a break? Because at the end of the day, when they come back and they become bigger and stronger, or whoever. Oh, I found the picture. I found one of the pictures.
Okay, cool. Dope.
Yeah, like who cares? Like let them be great, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done and they're all hurt and injured, they just gonna, those fans not even gonna care. They just gonna move on.
Yep. Exactly. You
Don't
gotta take care.
care when they need to take that mental health break too.
Yep. Well, I'm so glad we were able to talk about this right in time for February, Black History Month. Check out Bianca Belair and Montez Ford's Instagram. They are posting a lot about Black history. And they have their website, connectionculture.org.
Culture Connection.
Yes, there you go. Where they have resources and books that will definitely, you'll learn a lot. And it's stuff that, is not what we've been learning about for years. Like they really give an effort to highlight people in Black history that aren't talked about enough. So definitely check that out. Check out our part 1 of our Women of Color in WWE series. Check out our interview with Bianca Belair, which still sounds great. Like we really got an interview with Bianca Belair. Check that out. Am I missing anything?
No, ma'am. That's it. And being that I can finally do my outro. And on that note, it's your girl Krista B.
And Queen P.R.
We are out.
Hi everybody, it's me, Queen P.R, one half of those wrestling girls, and I'm here to remind you that we dropped our very first capsule collection to celebrate 2 years of those wrestling girls. It's our Attitude Era themed. It's only going to be available for a limited time only, so make sure you check it out. We have a hoodie, t-shirt, mugs, and a little bit more, so make sure you check that out, and thank you for supporting those wrestling girls.